Check 1 2 1 2. Checking the sound, making sure everything sounds good, looking good. Looks like we're good. All right, let's go. Okay. All right. So, the news happened last night, middle of the night, 3 a.m. We had Israel strike Iran, their nuclear sites. And there's been this warning from Trump saying if Iran doesn't make a deal, that something was going to happen. And so it seems like the U.S. is working through Israel to be involved completely in the Middle East, like we always have been. And it seems like the empire is increasing. And our Hotep Jesus was actually making a pretty good point. He was like, look, if I'm going to be on any side of an empire that's expanding, I kind of want to be on the side of the empire that's expanding instead of being on the other side. And it's kind of a good point if you want to think about, the macro. It's like, in what world will you actually be able to survive and thrive if you're not on the right side, I guess. But with all of this volatility, it is obviously makes the markets crash. Bitcoin tumbled to 102. We're going to look at the level 102,700, and now it's bouncing from that level. But basically, we have these levels marked where I'll call them the liquidation levels of where Binance and Coinbase are basically wrecking traders in this range. You can see it. It's like right here, they smack the longs and then or the shorts, and then right down in this level, they're wrecking the shorts, wrecking the longs down here. And it looks like a rinse and repeat, just constantly boom, boom, boom. And then you can even see it going across here, same level, boom, bringing it down, do. And they just love doing this. They love doing it. Marty Party, shout out to Marty Party on X. He is the one who is probably the only one where he is pointing out the fact that Binance and Coinbase are behind the price manipulations. If you don't believe this, go and look at his profile, go and look at the on-chain metrics, and they'll show you where every time the price looks like it's about to keep breaking out, it wants to go, they dump millions and millions of dollars on our head by transferring it on-chain through an offshore market maker called Wintermute, and then that's when the price goes down. So it's not you, it's not crypto Twitter, it's not people, traders selling, it's exchanges that hold massive amounts of the balances, and then they go boom, they dump it on your head. And then same thing is when they get to that certain level, which is right here, then they do it, then they buy with millions and millions of dollars. Easy. So this is what they're doing, and they're never going to stop until they're prosecuted and actually made to stop with actual laws. Which I would totally agree with. At a point where there's a open free market, it's like people are going to do stuff like that, and they should be ashamed of themselves, because if they believe in crypto, they would not be wrecking the people that are actually in the market trying to participate, and they wouldn't be so money hungry to do so. But that's what they're doing, and I'm curious as to what their response would be. They wouldn't have a response, because then their game is revealed. That's the game that they play. But we, as traders and people that are in the markets, have to hold on just a second. All right, I'm back. All right, so what we're trying to do here is trade off the volatility. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know how many people are here. Let's see. Okay, cool. We got some people coming in. I was curious on a Friday if we were going to have some action. We call these the Freaky Fridays, and Freaky Fridays for good reason, because things can just happen in the middle of the night while we're sleeping. And this is why I think, yes, the market obviously reacts to the doom rattle of war, or when anything happens like that, that's a black swan. But I have this theory. I really think this is true. There's no way that the biggest exchanges in the world don't have possible prior information that these things are going to happen, and they're like ready on the side. They're like ready on the side to pull the trigger. So it makes me think that prices react so fast like that because they already know. They already know what's going to happen. So whoever's on the inside and knows that that's going to happen is probably using it to their advantage, I would imagine. And it's perfectly timed where we're all sleeping on the West. We're all asleep, and then they pull the trigger. So could be wrong, but that's just my dubious speculation of how these black swans and how the markets actually react. And then you think about the stock markets, you think about the certain stocks. Very interesting how that plays out. And interesting enough, there are investments that do go up during wartime. So these investments are now your best defense after Israel launches an attack on Israel. So you see reference symbols are BRN, you got BRNQ, we'd have to see Brent crude. So this is all oil based. This is all based around oil. And you got to remember that Iran, they, according to Trump, he's like, in my administration, they were broke. They had no money. They weren't able to fund themselves, and they weren't able to get access to the resources that they are now. And we're getting closer to basically having nuclear power. So if these attacks continue and Israel leaders explicitly say they will, Iran won't just blink. It'll fire back, and Israel could soon find itself juggling multiple wars at the same time. So this is just a mess. This is just a disaster. So is it possible that this could just be a dead cat bounce and we go down to 99, 95? I mean, we could have these levels. Definitely. I mean, the gap was filled for sure. So there was a CME gap. Crypto Kid reminded us that there was a gap around in this level. It was like 105 or 104. But yeah, so that gap was definitely filled because we did go as low as 102,700 is where we took a stop. And if we see, that could be maybe some support. Yeah, so that actually was a really interesting support level from where we broke off into the recent all-time high was actually from 102,000, but not as low as, or it didn't go as low as 102,200 because this is kind of where the wicks are. But there was this through line of support here, right on this level of 102. Before we were getting chopped around at 100K to 102, 100K, 102, and then boom, and then we started to go. Then you can see we went right into the middle of that range right here, and then bulls went in control. We were like, no, we're not going to push it down below 100K ever again. And this also is signifying that even off of that news of the strike, that wasn't enough to fully put Bitcoin back down under 100K, and the bulls are still in control, I think. So if you notice, anytime we drop below the 200-day moving average and then we get back above it, we will stay above it for a good 3 days, even longer. So right here, we stayed above it for about 5 to 6 days of the 200-day moving average on the 45-minute. So if we cross it here, then we can say, all right, well, if we cross it, then we'll have another, 6 days of being over it. And if we look and we don't get any other crazy attacks or news or any kind of thing like that that's going to throw us off guard, then in 6 days, I believe if we cross over the 200-day moving average, then we will hit the basically what is the Fibonacci extension level from the recent high here down to the low, and I think it lines up to be right at this level at 120, but we're eyeing 115 first. Like, that's the first line in the sand, which is basically the staircase. Bitcoin has been doing a staircase pattern where it goes up, takes a break, goes up again, takes a break sideways, goes up again. Now we really went sideways and then took a nice break down into 100K, and this looks like we could be just kind of going up to this spot here, right there, and then the next little lift off could be like this, you know, like that. If we're looking at it on a bigger time frame, let's see, on the 4 hour, you can see how it's been doing that, and then it really gave us a nice little test here. And these are shakeouts. These are full-on shakeouts before we really start to blast off, and it's just classic textbook movements of the markets. We are really trying to get into the hype position. We already missed. We got into a position we thought was the low, and then they smacked it again. They love doing this, man. They love doing that kind of stuff. But you have to pick which support you're thinking is gonna be the support. Sometimes it's the one that's below the first one. So you see that first support level, and then there's a second one. You're like, well, crap. And then that's when you realize that, nope, it wasn't this one. It was the one below it at like 38 or 39, around there. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit more patient, but it's really, really, really hard. I will say it is very hard. That's the hardest thing to do in crypto, is to just be patient. Hardest thing to do in crypto is to be patient and not FOMO, and to just not FOMO trade. It is very tricky. All right, so I'm still bullish. I don't know about you guys. Oh yeah, we're starting to get, we're getting some action here. Yep, we're getting some action. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do here. We're gonna, because something's up here, and we could be pushing up to this last resistance level. We are now, if we're on the 45-minute, we're getting close to that 200-day moving average. Oh, we're already over it on the 4 hour. So we're already over it on the 4 hour, and we can. Yes, I did. I got stopped out of my trades, and also I took some losses, and yeah. But for the week, though, we did pretty good. Like, we did pretty good, and we took so what's great is that we took $800 of profits out of the account completely and put it in like cash. So we at least successfully did that, which is one of the hardest things to do also in trading, is that if you made profits, can you take it out and actually do something with it? Whether it be buying something that you want. Maybe you need to pay a bill. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. But I mean, that's the whole point, right? You know, you have to, or you're putting it in your savings, you have a fund something you're trying to fund, whatever it may be. But that's the whole point, right? Because if you can make that extra cash from the market that's not from your job or your whatever you're working, that's the whole point. So I'm trying to really be aggressive in that action of whenever I do have a great week like I did in the beginning of the week, in the first 2 days of the trading in the week, I made $1,338 in profit, realized profit. So I took, and I'm going to give you the full transparent breakdown here. I took $800 fully out, and I left $300 in my account. I then DCA'd 100 of that into Ticker Bitcoin, and I left $200 in to trade. That $200 had been now stopped out. And so that kind of, you know, that it happens. It happens. I probably would have been smarter to just say, hey, you know, I'm going to take like $200 and DCA it and then try and trade the 100. If I lose the 100, no big deal. Didn't go that way. Now, on Hype here, did really good on Hype, made a lot of really good trades on Hype, and then proceeded to get in a few bad entries, and I gave about half of my gains back to the market from the Hype trade. But I think I'm still in profit on the Hype trade with this particular account. So ultimately for the week, I'm up. For the month, that's a different story. For the month, I'm still down bad because there was a losing streak. There was some factors that just really chopped me up, which was my own fault, no one else's. That's the best thing that you can do in trading too, is to not blame the market. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame a whatever. You need to accept that it is you that made the decisions. You clicked the button. You decided if you wanted to set a stop loss or not, or whatever it may be. You just decided if you wanted to leave the trade open a little longer or open too many trades. All of that is your fault. You can't blame anyone else. You can't even blame Black Swan events, because sometimes the TA can actually reveal where it is kind of still looking a little bearish. And it's amazing. I want to show you guys this image that I printed out. It was wild. Wild. I've got to show you guys. If you were watching my stream yesterday, which I think most of you who are here were watching it, we called this is Pepe, by the way. We called this pattern on Pepe, and we said, whoa, that looks like a bear flag. And if it's a bear flag, then it's just going to do the same thing on the opposite of what a bull flag does, is it does the length of the pole. And I said the only way that this happens is if Ethereum does not confirm its pattern that I was calling to push up to the upside. It ended up going down and dropped down pretty fast, and then bam, this pattern played out exactly as predicted, and it went exactly down to the length of the pole. Wild. It was like immediately. And I drew this pattern before it actually happened. I was like, that's probably where it's going to go but I said, that's if Ethereum breaks down. And sure enough, it did. And then what happened to Pepe? Boom. Bear flag. I printed that out because I need to have that on my wall. So then I recognize those patterns. And we can keep adjusting the strategy. We can keep adjusting. And no, that's the thing. That's the damn thing, Hyro. I didn't short it because I was looking at Ethereum and I was like, okay, I wasn't fast enough. I was not fast enough at all, but that's the thing. This is why I printed it out, because the fact that it went exactly as predicted, I need to just act on it and also set the stop loss to 10%, whatever, set a tight stop loss just to make sure that if I'm wrong, I still have capital in the game. But man, that would have been a wicked short. I mean, wicked. That would have been the one. But I think what this did is give me a really nice learning experience and an opportunity for me to take notes, print out look at where I made mistakes yesterday and just try my best to not repeat them. Like, for instance, right now, I'm in profit 10%, okay? I'm in profit 10%. I would love for this to keep breaking out and go where I would like it to go. Right now, looking like an inverse head and shoulders, if you're looking at it on the 5-minute, and this is hype right now. You can kind of see breakdown here, and then could go instead just kind of go sideways, honestly, and then start to break up to the next resistance point. The nerd robot said, after I sell my altcoins this year, never going to invest in crypto ever again. That's what a lot of people feel. They're like, man, I don't know how I'm going to be able to am I going to just fully exit crypto? But if you're a true degen, you'll be in crypto for life. I think most of the people that had gotten into crypto in 2017, 2018, I think a lot of them are still here, especially if they at least made some money, they experienced like the potential, and they also experienced the losses, and they experienced the pain of the bear markets. They experienced the whole spectrum of everything. And most of them stuck around. There's some people that fell to the wayside and they were like, I am never coming back to this thing again. They just got eaten up. But most of those people, I think, still stuck around because they realize the potential of crypto, and just even having a business in crypto or learning how to schmooze with all these people that are doing big things and figure out what they're doing, analyze what they're doing, and see if you can replicate it. That's essentially what we're doing. This is why we're here. We want to work in crypto, earn an income and all of that stuff with crypto. We've said this from the drop, like whatever it may be, whether it be from trading, investing, building our own companies, our own brand, all that stuff combined is how you end up making $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month, like life-changing gains of income coming in from all different sources because of the nature of how crypto operates. It's you can niche it in anything. It's such a big ecosystem in financial systems, gaming, small businesses, big businesses, wealth funds, all this stuff. So this is why we're here. We're not going to be shaken out by price action, all that stuff, or just like there's no way. We didn't get shaken out by the worst bear markets in history. So why would we get shaken out in the future where crypto is literally going to be the back end of everything? That's what's crazy. So that when I think about that, and I think about what you said, how you're just gonna not invest in crypto or be in crypto after this. Well, guess what? 15, 20 years down the line, crypto's still probably going to be around, and everything's going to be blockchain, AI like operated. Blockchains are, I mean, there's just going to be all kinds of stuff being completely fully automated by AI, and blockchain is the way that it's done. Well, right now, the trade setup that I'm trying to get, as you saw my thumbnail, the thumbnail that I used, was that I'm trying to snipe hype right now. I'm trying to really get, because hype, it's been like boom, it's just been like going. And I see this target, it's the fib target of the fib extension, I think is still in line. If we take it from the high resistance point to the low here, is it still lining up right there? The 618 was like right there when we pulled it here, but now it's down a little bit more, or it's up a little bit more at 47. But we were eyeing a $45 hype, and it was almost there. That was where we made our sick trade, because we bought it right towards the bottom and caught it right there. And then as you can see, this is where we made the mistake. So if you think about it, oh my gosh, this is another thing that I'm realizing. Hindsight is always 20/20, man. It's crazy how you can really, you got to go back in the charts and see what you did wrong. Look, bearish divergence. This same freaking pattern happened on ETH, and we've ignored it. We were like, look, that's a bearish divergence. Look, bearish divergence right there, and that's what brought it down. Bearish divergence. And that was right, it revealed to us right in the chart. And look, hitting previous resistance, it did the same thing right here and respected it, a bearish divergence. Where you make a higher high from the last high, and then if it consolidates, I mean, it goes down. So when you see that pattern, that could be a time to just like chill, or you can short. You can short that level. So let's here, I'm going to take a screenshot of this so then we can remember. We got to remember these bearish divergences on the chart, because they're so important. Like, print, let's do, yeah. So we're going to do that. And I want to print this. I just want to go ahead and do it before I forget. All right, so print that. So this actually has been really valuable. This has kind of been helping me out to organize myself and take notes and do my own type of way of journaling, is that I can just take these screenshots, print them out, and the way that it's been printed out and formatted, I can put the notes right on the side. So for instance, right here, if I start making a folder and journal of patterns that I saw and they actually, were successful, I need to write down all on the side here where, like, what type of pattern that is. Did I act on it? Whatever, just any type of notes. I think anything would help. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set a stop loss. We're gonna set a stop loss because we want to make sure. Okay, at 33. So at $41, that's a 33% move to the downside. Stop loss at 33%. So as you can see here, interesting enough, the stop loss liquidation price is $40.62, which is right here. $40.62. Right at the spots, if this is an inverse head and shoulders, where they could bring that price right down in there. And what is causing this price movement related to hype? Has hype been trading good with Ethereum, or following Ethereum more, or is it following Bitcoin more? Yep, we're hitting that section. We're hitting this little section here. You can see it. You can see it there. You can see it right there too. A little section. Little interesting section there. You can see it. Oh. All right. So what's our profit take? What's our take profit for hype? The top of the resistance. Just right there. Just put it there. Who cares if it goes past that? And we're just going to hope for the best today. If we make this today with our hype trade, then we're going to be getting back what we lost on putting in our bad trades, and then a little bit more. So let's do that. That means right now we are in a where's my stop loss? It's just like right there. Our risk to reward ratio is 6 to 9. Technically not a very healthy trade. They say that you want your risk to reward ratio to be 2 to 1. Let's see. Hyro said, I still have my Ethereum swing trade open. Oh my gosh. Yeah. First entered at 1,572. That's a wick. That is dude, that's amazing. And then you scaled it up now. Entry price is 1,850. Do you think I'm okay? Do you think Ethereum can go below 2K again? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. If I'm looking at ETH right now and we're above 2,500, we still haven't hit that 3K mark. Like we were trucking towards this level. This fib extension level right here, I mean, we should be hitting that we should have been hitting that very soon. But now that we just got smashed down into this level, and look at where it bounced too. Holy crap. That's crazy. We had this level mark. That's why I love it, why it's very important to also pull the fib extensions. Because look at where the fib extension line hit right on there. Bam. It's like, what? Like when you pull these fib extensions, it's insane. And this is a fib from this point. This is a fib extension from the high here in the end of the year to the bottom of the range where Hyro was just talking. He got his sweet entry. But now I've been pointing this out as this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And the next level of the fib that we should be eyeing is this right in between this fib right here, 2,900 and 3K, which would then complete this range up from the sideways action. If you just look at this on the inverse, you have all this sideways price action. And what happened beforehand? We were up here and in this between this range, and we had a dump. We're sideways, trade there. We have our dump into that fib level right there, the 382. So I want to inverse this and think, okay, then the next level that we're going to pump up to is 3K. I mean, that's what I'm eyeing. So I think we hit 3K before we go down into anything around into these ranges, because I don't know, it just wouldn't make any sense. The only thing that I think would make this happen is we get another like bad news, real bad news, something that could just rattle everything up. But I don't know. I don't see that happen. I don't really feel that happen. I think more or less they want to pump the stock market. They don't want it to crash. They don't want the cryptocurrency markets to crash. There's a lot of money riding on all this stuff. They're cutting rates. They're going to cut rates. They're printing more money. The only thing that would make me a little suspicious of all this stuff happening is that perfectly timed, they're going to cut the rates, print the money, and then everything is going to be at low prices, and then they can pump it up again. So there's always that can always happen as well. All right, well, how many people do we have watching? It's a little slow. It's a little slow. Past couple days, the algorithm has been just a little shy. It's been a little shy. Don't know why, but we're going to continue to come here every single day. We're going to bring you guys the alpha. But the algorithm has been a little slow. But shout out to Hyro. Shout out to the nerd Robert. Shout out to Free. Shout out to Stay Calm. Shout out to everyone who's watching. However many of you are watching right now. We really appreciate it. Check out the links in the description. You might already know what they are, but one of the new links that we have is the Apex Omni. All right, let's see if we have anything happening here. Anything breaking news. Shout out to MoonPay for finally giving us a follow. That was cool. I told him I've been using MoonPay since 2021. So that's got to get me something. So yeah, we're bullish on MoonPay. Virtual Bacon says, have you ever bought a stock just because of its crypto exposure? Rand says, anyone know when Greta Thunberg arrives in Iran? Lord. And stop loss hit. Looks like it's doing... Yep. Stop loss hit. Get ready for the weekend, guys. The weekend's going to be stupid. I just feel it. It's going to be real stupid. It's going to be one of those annoying weekends where you're going to try and trade it and you're just going to get rocked. So I'm going to go with CryptoFace. Don't trade the weekends. Just don't trade the weekends. I agree with him. He said recently, he was like, the weekends this year have been the absolute worst to trade. And he's right. It has been the worst. They get you excited on the Friday, and then they FOMO you into the weekend, and then you just get just destroyed. Like even right here, it hitting my stop loss and then deciding like, oh, I'm gonna keep going. Like, come on. This market sometimes is a joke. Did I watch Raul Paul's last video? No, I did not, but I think I know which one you're talking about. But I will check it out. I like watching his content. I'd love to get him on the channel. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. Stop it. Stop it right now. Oh my gosh. That is so not. That is what has been so frustrated about this market is that it will just, there's like stop loss hunting. Stop loss hunting. Liquidation level hunting. And my fan is going woo. Anytime I hear my fan going woo, woo on my computer, charts are moving. And we just hope it's not the way that, you know, to the downside. We want to just be longing. We don't want to short. We don't want to short. We want to long. We want to long because we know very, very soon here, they can't keep doing this. Like they can't, the dang thing's about to go. We see it. It's in the charts. If you zoom out on the Bitcoin chart, it's about to explode. Like it's about to freaking go ham and they are suppressing it. By they, it's the exchanges. There's no question. It's the exchanges. Who else would be doing it? Who else sees all the back-end information before you do? They don't want you to make money. They make more money from you losing. They make way more from you losing than you winning. That means they have to pay you. It's just like the casino. They want you to lose. They don't want to pay you all that money from hitting the whatever it is. Getting a hit on the table? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why that term of the 99 or 98% of traders lose. Well, guess what? You can still put yourself in that 1% for a period of time where you cannot be the person that is losing. And all it takes is you to find your edge, find your risk management, and win and keep more capital than you lose. And if you continue to do this and you learn, then I believe you will be successful. I believe that I will be successful and get better at trading and actually can make it a full income replacement where we don't have to work any other job, no side gigs, blah, blah, blah. We can literally replace our entire income with it. That's the goal. That's the goal, replacing your entire income. I'm even going to go as crazy and as far as even if it replaced my income, I'm still going to work some of those things because I want to retire my bloodline. I want to retire everyone. It's that time. It's that time to get serious because if you don't get serious now, you're going to be playing catch up for years. So let's lock the F in right now. You with me, guys? Are you with me? Are you with me? I know there's only 4 people watching, but damn it, I'm going to get all 4 of you pumped. Since YouTube wants to be absolute garbage and not tell my normal people that, like, I don't even care if there's no new people. I just want the people that are subscribed to the channel to actually get notified that I'm live, because they're not getting notified. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Like you guys got notifications, probably it popped up, but holy crap. They are terrible at letting people know when I go live. Like, why do they do that? I see an entry. I see an entry. I see an entry. Dude, exactly, High Road. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Our grandchildren would be so grateful for what we did. Your kids are gonna ask, Mom, why? How are we so rich? Because Daddy didn't quit. Because Dad was delusional to the point where he made millions. That's going to be in our future. That will be in our future. I see an entry, and I think it's like right on this line. I'm going to go ahead and just go for it. And whatever happens today, we are not going to we're not trading tomorrow or Sunday. Absolutely not. I don't care what's happening. I'm going to take Crypto Face's advice and not trade on the weekends. I'm going to take a couple days off. I'm going to see what's happening on Monday. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. on Monday, because you know what? That's when the most shady, crap, stupid, wicked, son of a gun movements that I've ever seen in my life happen, when we're sleeping. When we're all sleeping on the West, people in Dubai are already making moves. India, they're probably the culprits as well. Offshore, they like to make some dicey moves. And you got to be awake to catch it, because that could be the difference of you not having to do any of the trading for the rest of the day. You can literally just trade those hours, and then the rest of the day, let the market do whatever the heck it wants. Man, it's totally flat. That is so annoying. I tell you what, that is one of the most annoying things. What just happened right here. What just happened right here, where I got stopped out, and then they want to continue to pump it right there out of that level. That's so frustrating. That is so annoying, because I want this entry so bad, and I want to get the dang entry so I can get. I know it's going up here. This was the last 2 spots. Right there. I want it. And I'm chasing it currently right now, which is a bad idea. 100% a bad idea. But we are getting volume back. We are getting some volume into Bitcoin. Looking at that area. Could be getting a bounce, and then this will follow. Can potentially get a 6% move to the upside. Oh, okay. But you know what I'm going to do? I need to do this. I need to just What I've wanted to do, Hyro, is put my entry in the liquidation level. Like, because that's where price always bounces, is from the liquidation level. So if I'm looking to get into a trade and look, I got in the trade right here. Look, here's the buy of where I got in originally. And then you can literally see at the liquidation level, it was right here. And that's where it bounced, was on the liquidation level. So it's almost like they find the liquidation levels, and then that's where ultimately the price is going to more or less 80%, 90% of the damn time is going to go to that. So I'm thinking to myself, I might switch up my strategy here, and I'm going to just say, okay, I'm going to look at the charts and go, okay, this is where I'm feeling like I want to put in an entry. And then before I do it, I'm going to set it, and I'll see where the liquidation is going to put me at, because it'll tell you. It'll say your liquidation price would be here if you put it in here. And then I'm going to go, okay, what's that liquidation price? Cancel the order, put the order in at the liquidation price, and be patient. If it doesn't hit it, who cares? But if it does, pretty guaranteed that's going to bounce from there, because that's how the market works. It takes a long time to figure this out. You have to get wrecked a bunch of times. Then you eventually start to figure it out. Eventually it starts to click. Start to figure it out. Yes, I do. Yes. Oh, I don't want it at the top. I want it like down here. Ah. All right, we're buying tops here, guys. We're buying tops. We're buying tops. I don't even know what. Is there still an active order? Oh, it didn't. Oh, it didn't trigger. It didn't trigger all of it. What we can do. Oh, maybe that's why. All right, it didn't trigger all of the orders, so let's cancel it. Dang, this thing's running away from us, man. Yeah, because Bitcoin's testing. It's testing up to this right here. Did we still not get the full limit order in? That's so weird. All right. What happened? Because it's running away. That's why. Because it's starting to freaking run now. Damn. That is so frustrating because we were right there. We had the entry. It was so close. So close, and it's doing exactly as I wanted it to do, but I just didn't have enough patience at the time. Oh, that's so frustrating. That is massively frustrating. Now it's just running. Now it's running completely away from us. Where we could have had a position right here to go ahead and clear a 2.5% move. It's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Patience. This is just showing you guys, look, you have to have patience. You have to have patience. Even in all of this chaos and not having patience, you can still win, but most likely you're going to get rocked. Just have to have some patience. And it's very, very hard because you're like, I need the money now. I want the money now. But really, anyone who's smart will tell you it's the small, consistent wins over a span of time that gets you ahead of the game. Small, consistent wins over a span of time will get you ahead of the game. It's not it's not a big win. It's small, consistent gains over time. Small, consistent gains over time. And I will leave you guys with that. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next live stream. Have a good weekend. Be safe. I would suggest don't trade. Don't trade on the weekends, especially with all this bull crap that's happening. If you have trades open, you already had trades open and you're like swinging them and you got awesome positions and that's great. But if you're going to be actually trying to find positions in the weekend, just have your guard up. Have a massive guard up. Have more armor on, whatever you have to do. Just a friendly suggestion and reminder. All right, guys. God bless. Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming in. And make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit the bell, ding the bell, and click all to be notified. And check all of the links in the description. It's the best way to directly support the channel. And we'll see you on the next one.